I should like you to be free of anxieties. That's what Paul tells the Corinthians in his letter. Isn't that what every parent wants for their child, and every adult child wants for their aging parent? And likewise, every person wants for his or her spouse, siblings, extended family, and co-workers, etc. How can we live as Paul wished, free of anxiety, when there is so much evil in the world? All you have to do is turn on the TV, and we see it in faraway places. 10-year-old girl, suicide bomber, walks into a market, takes out 20 people. That's far off in Nigeria. Murderous gunmen open fire in France and kill people for writing a sectarian newspaper, while in England, a machete-wielding madman slashes a soldier to death. That's way off across the pond, right? It's called religious expression or workplace violence. Here in the U.S., mass killing of 20 innocent children in Newton, Connecticut. How about a teenage mother who puts her brand new, minutes-old daughter on fire with the umbilical cord still attached? It's about an hour's drive away from here. How about Autumn Pasquale, who lived in the neighboring town from here, who was murdered, strangled, on her bicycle? Maybe these would be deemed mental illness. Evil does exist here and now. The devil is real, and his brother demons are running loose in the world. These are frightening times. But in every age, evil has been manifest. In both Moses and Jesus' time, there were murder of the innocents. While I still cannot shake the images from when I was 10 years old of the TV commercials for the movie The Exorcist, walking on the ceiling or spinning heads, they may not be the image of evil that we see in our daily life. Evil does not only come in the form of horrific newsworthy events like I've listed before. The devil and his minions may not be as raucous or open and out front as Hollywood or the evening news may have us believe. While tremendous evil still shocks us, I believe as a rule, we all have been desensitized to evil. Evil can be much more subtle and more invasive and more accepted by the one who it possesses and overtakes and those around that person. The father who misses his child's school play because he stays for another round at the bar, and which turns into 2 and 3, and before he knows it, it's closing time. The mother who works so hard to juggle career obligations that she cannot see that her child is slowly killing herself with an eating disorder. The senior citizen who, despite barely having enough money to pay her rent on her simple apartment, goes to the casino and wagers it all in hopes of hitting it big this time. The young man does not quite fit in and turns to drugs for escape. When the highs are not high enough to numb the pain, uses so much that he takes his own life in the process. The young prostitute walking the streets of Camden in the cold, using the body that God created and her humanity that he knew before she was knitted in her mother's womb as only a vehicle to gain enough money to buy her next drug fix. These are real-life images of evil, and they're even more common because they go unnoticed most of the time. So I ask you, how do we live anxiety-free when there's so much evil right in our own backyard, right in our homes, perhaps right in this church? The world has so much evil. How can anyone not be anxious? But I find it interesting and somewhat comforting that the first thing Jesus does as he begins his ministry, according to Mark, is to confront evil, the man with the evil spirit, driving out of him the spirit so that the man can be free of the grip of the spirit and able to lead a life anxiety-free. Of course, we don't know the whole story, but that's my hope. Jesus, just having confronted the temptations of the devil in the desert, meets this demon who knows him personally and is driven out. I think there's a great comfort in knowing that if we come face to face with Christ and desire to be cleansed, He will also dispel the evil spirits that may be controlling us. Perhaps our evil is gossip or stealing, just small amounts of things for our employer, like time, watching hours of TV instead of doing something productive and positive with our children and families, or not growing stronger in our faith by reading scripture or simply sitting in quiet in prayer. Maybe we are addicted to job or money or food or internet or social media. And while these things unto themselves are not evil, they are corrupted by evil and become a god to us. I heard it said that the devil's greatest trick was to make everyone think that he does not exist. Jesus knew better. Jesus can quiet and remove the evil we carry with us, like the man in the temple in the gospel. He saw Jesus and was set free. We are lucky that in a few minutes we will have the opportunity to meet Jesus face to face, not only being able to see him, but to have him come into our bodies. Oh, how an evil spirit must hate that. So when we approach the Lord in the Eucharist, invite him to cast out whatever evil you hold deep in your heart. Pull you from the darkness and into this light of his. And when you return to your seat, spend a few quiet moments thanking him for freeing you from the power of the evil and allowing you to live a life with less anxiety. Recalling the words that we say after the Our Father. Deliver us, Lord, from every evil. Grant us peace in our day, and in your mercy keep us free from sin and protect us from all anxiety.